Hi everyone, in this video I will show you how to make this cool looking flame pillar effect while also showing you a really amazing version control tool made for game developers and people who work with Unreal Engine or any other game engine. It's really optimized for game developers and it is also very easy to use and easy to understand even for non-technical people. Other version control solutions are mainly for code, etc., and they are not really good for game developers since we work with a lot of really large files like 3D models, textures, etc. So most of them aren't really useful for us. Now in this video, I will show you a really cool tool called Diversion. It can help manage changes to file over time, back them up in the cloud, enable multiple people to work on the same project at the same time, and they specially built this with game developers in mind. And it is free up to 100 GB, which is a very generous amount, and up to 5 people, which should be more than enough for small indie projects. On their website, you can input the storage you want and the number of people you have on your team and calculate the cost. In this video, I will make this flame pillar effect, but it is mostly about how to use Diversion. They were very kind to sponsor this video, so many thanks to them. You can use a link in the description below to go to their website and download Diversion, and also to their Discord server where you can find the Diversion community and ask questions you might have about using Diversion. There will also be a link to their roadmap to keep track of the updates and all the new features coming to Diversion in the future. So check that out also. The material tutorial is like a bonus for you and it looks really great, and also it's very easy and fast to make. Now let me show you some of the cool things you can do with this material. So here I have this parameter and I can change the division here to change the height like this. So I can get an effect like this. I can also increase this divide value to change the size of the edges like this. And here I have this MIP value and I can change this to 4. And now I can change this texture to a fire texture. So now I get an effect like this, and I can control this divide value to get something like this. I can also change the MIP values to get a more stylized look like this, and I can also change the tiling. I can change the curve here. Now I can change the speed. I can also open the curve up and change these values to get a really cool looking effect like this. Or I can change this hue. I can also delete this and move this in like this and delete this also. So you can change the curve and get really cool looking effects like this one. You can also change the saturation here to get a ghost flame effect like this. So there are a lot of cool things you can do with this material, and you can also add this to anything. So if I get a cube and if I just add it here, we can get a look like this and change the tiling like this. Now we get a really cool ghost flame effect or an effect like this. So this is what we are going to be creating today, and if you want to download the project file, you can support me on my Patreon and get the completed project files from there. To install Diversion, go to their website by using the links in the description below, and now here click the Get Started button, and here you can either create an account with your email address or you can use your Gmail account to create one automatically. So I'm just going to do continue with Google, and here you can select the installer for your system, and for me it's Windows, so just click download Windows installer. After downloading it, you can click here and click on the setup file to run it and click S, and now click next, and here you can click on this to see the terms, and then you can read all of this, and here after that you can just tick accept, and then it opens up this program. Now here we need to create a new repository, and a repository is basically a folder where you store and manage digital stuff like code, documents and other data. It helps keep everything organized and track changes over time, and it also helps with collaborating with other people on your team. So to create it, just click new repository, and here we can create a new folder or we can choose an existing one. And here all of you might have a project already, so I will show you how to create one from existing folder. Now here I will just create a third person template, and I will just take starter content and I will change the name to flame pillar. And then here take a note of this project location. For me it is in the E drive in the repo folder. Now click create. Now we have this project file open. Now we can set the repository to this project file. For that we can go back to Diversion, or a better way is to show you how to do that using the Unreal Engine plugin that Diversion offers. It is an amazing plugin and it can do almost all the things that the Diversion software can do. It also has some additional cool features that I will show you now. They are very useful. You will understand when you see them. Now to install this plugin, just search Diversion version control in the search on your marketplace and then click install to engine and then select the engine version and click install. Now to make sure that it is installed, you can go to install plugins and check here and you can see Diversion version control. Now we can go back to our project. Now here we need to close the project file first so the Diversion plugin appears. So close it, then go to edit, then go to plugins, then here type Diversion. So you can see this Diversion version control. Just tick that, and now we need to restart the engine again. So click restart now, and now we can create the repository using the plugin itself by going to revision control here. Click this, then click connect to revision control, then click Diversion. Then here first we need to initialize the project with Diversion, so it will create our repository. So just click that and wait for it to finish. And now here you can see that it is syncing in the background. So all our data is being uploaded to the cloud. Now we can click accept settings. So now we get this green tick here. And now if I go to the Diversion app, you can see the flame pillar repository is created with all these files. It is being synced right now. So here you can see how many files are being synced. Now it is fully synced with the cloud. So now we can go back, and here I will just add a folder. I will call this FX folder and I will do an initial commit. So go here and click submit content. So it is checking all the assets, and here we can give a description to our submit file. And in version control, this is called a commit. So a commit is basically a snapshot of the project at a specific point in time. It records the changes we make, and the commit name we give here can be a reminder to what changes we made. So here the first name I will give is initial, so it will be our initial commit. So type in initial and click submit. So here you can see that commit created. And now if I go to the Diversion app and click flame pillar, so here you can see the initial commit Diversion created automatically when we created a repository. And the next initial one, this is the one we just did right now. So now go back. Now we can go back to the engine, and here I will show you a cool feature that the Diversion plugin has. So if I go to third person, then blueprints, then third person character, and here I can go to the viewport and I can increase the camera arm length like this, and I can also go here and here I can drag and type in print and print a hello. Now I will just save this, and now here you can see that we have this red arrow, and it means that the item has been modified. Now we can commit this change by going into revision control, then going to submit content, and here you can see that this is a file we changed. And here if I just double click this window opens up. So I will just close one. So here we can see all the changes we made. So here if I go to component and click arm length, so here you can see the change we made. So we changed the arm length from 400 to 800, and I can click next, and here you can see that this is our initial one without the print string, and here you can see the one we modified. So with Diversion Unreal Engine plugin, you can keep track of all the changes we made and make sure if they are correct or not, and only then we need to commit this. So I will call this blueprint change, and now I can click submit. Now you can see that commit is created. Now if I go back to the Diversion app, here you can see the blueprint change commit. Now we will create the material effect. For that, right click, then click on material, then we can call this m underscore flame pillar, then open it up. Then here we can set the shading model to unlit and the blend mode to translucent, and here we can set two-sided, so the effects will be visible from both sides even if we add it to a plane. Now here we can get a node called distance to nearest surface. It will just get the distance to the nearest surface like the name says from the mesh. And now here we can get a subtract node and give a value of -1 here, and a divide node, and here we can give a value of 60. And if I connect this to the opacity and click apply, and here if I just get a sphere and I will scale it up a bit, and now I will just create a material instance and add that here. Now we get an effect like this, and we want to invert this, so go back, and here we need to do a 1 minus, so it will invert that, and click apply. Now we get an effect like this, and here we can set this divide value to like 120. So now it looks like this. Now we can right click and type in texture, sample parameter, and we can call this noise texture. And now here for the texture, we can click this and type in fire, and now we can bring in this fire texture. And now here get a UV coordinate like this and a panner, and now connect this here, and now get a multiply to scale the image and connect this to the UV. We can get a scalar parameter, and we can call this tiling and default this to 1 and connect it here. And here for the speed we can give a value of -0.05, and here for the y we can give a value of 0.7. Now we can get a time node and a multiply and connect this to the speed here, and now get a scalar parameter and call this speed and connect it here. So now we can change the speed without changing the x and y, so it will keep the direction, but we can just change the speed. Now here we need to duplicate this, and here for the time we can just connect it here again and delete this one, we don't really want that. Now here for the panner we can give a value of 0.1 and 0.3, and this should be positive 0.1. And here for the tiling we can just get a multiply and connect this here and connect this here and give it a value of 2. So we can change this one tiling parameter, and it will change this also, but with a multiplication of 2. Now we can add both of them together, the red channel only. So now we get a look like this, and here we can get a multiply, and here we can give a value of 0.5. Since we are adding both of them together, if they overlap they will go above 1, so we need to divide that by 2, which is like multiplying by 0.5. Now here we can subtract this from this. Now we can get a seal here, so it will round the values to the next integer, so 0.1 become 1 and 0.5 become 1, etc. So I can connect this to the opacity here, so now we will get a look like this. And here for the speed we can give a value of 1, so it moves around like this. Now here to give color to this effect we can use a curve, so save this and go back here and right click, then click on miscellaneous. Then here first we need to create a curve atlas, so I will call this CAT main, then open it up, and here we can just untick this and set this height to like 2. We only need a really thin strip, and now click gradient curves and click this add element, and here we can create a new one. So go back and right click, then go to miscellaneous, and then click on curve and click on curve linear color and click select, and we can call this CB color, then open it up, Then here for the black, we can give a really bright red value. And now we can click here and we can set this value to like black. And this value also we can set this to black like this. Now we can click normalize view mode. Now go back to the material and here type in curve atlas parameter and add that. And now select this and select the atlas we created. Now open the atlas and here in the gradient curves we can click this and add the curve we created like this. And now go back, click this and select this. Here you don't really want this value to go above 1 or below 0, so we can saturate this and connect this here and connect this to the MC color. So now we get a look like this. So if you want more control, we can just get a divide and connect this here and get a scalar parameter, and I will call this divide and give a value of 1 here for now and click apply. And we can increase the divide here like this. And here we can get a parameter for these values also. So drag and type in scalar parameter and I will call this sub and I will give a value of -1 and I will get another parameter and I will call this height and I will give a value of 120 and connect it here and click apply and save. Now if I change the height, you can see that it is going up like this. And here I can also change the tiling and also change the speed to get a very different looking effect. I can also change the sub values like this, and then we can also change the division values like that to control the edges like this. So just copy these values to get this look. Here we can play with the curve, so open the curve and here I can change the hue like this, also change the division here like that, like this. And now here I can change the center point and here I can change the div to 2 or 1 and now I can change the center point like this. So I can control how much flames I want like this. Now we can also click this and change this to like 200 so it's really bright and bring it in like this. We can also click here and add a different color. So now we get a really cool look like this. Now here you can also change the texture, Perlin noise and get a look like this. We can also make it a bit more stylized by going into the material again. So here just select both of them and change the MIP to relative and now click save. Now we can play around with the styling and also we can change the MIP level to like 2 to get a look like this or 3 and we can change this back to 5 and now we have a really cool stylized look like this. Now our effect is finished, so we can commit this change. So for that, go to revision control, then click on submit content, then click save. Now here we can name this flame pillar completed and now we can click submit. Now if I go back to the diversion app, you can see that our flame pillar commit is added and here we can go to history and see all the commits we made. And if you click it, you can see all the changes we have made like this. So this is what we want. Now let me show you some of the other advantages of using diversion for version control for game developers. First, I want to show you how you can work with other team members on the project at the same time and also how diversion handles merge conflicts. More on that later. In diversion, you can add a team member by an invite through their email ID. So in order to do that, you can go here and click this, then click on repo collaborators. Then here you can type in their email ID. Then here you can choose which permission to give them. So if I click this, you can see can read, can write and admin. So if they are a freelancer, you can give can write. Then you can click send invite. And if you click here, you can delete them or change their permission anytime you want. Now I will go to my second PC and here I can see the flame pillar repository. So I can just clone this by clicking clone repo. Now I will go back to my first PC and make some changes to the map. So I will just duplicate this and bring it up and duplicate this again like this. And now we can commit these changes. So go to revision control, then submit content and we can call this map changes and click submit. So now our changes are added. So here I want to add a little bit more changes. So I will just delete all of this. And now I will click save all to save our changes. Now I will commit these changes. So I will go to submit content. Then you can see all the changes. Now here I will type in map update second and click submit. Now on my second PC, you can see that the changes I made has been automatically added to the world. Unlike in other programs, you don't really have to pull the updates in Diversion. It will automatically update for you unless there are some merge conflicts. A merge conflict can happen if two people work on the same binary file like blueprint file at the same time. And for binary files like blueprint, it's not really easy to merge them like code files like C++. But Diversion has a really cool feature that will let you spot potential merge conflicts before they even happen. So let me show you how that works. So if I open the blueprint here, this third person blueprint, and here I will just drag here and type print and print a new string like this, like a second hello, and I will just save this. And notice here that I don't even have to commit this change. Now on my main PC, you can see that this blueprint file has changed, and you can see this purple icon here. And if I click this, you can see that somebody is working on it and they haven't committed this. And here you can see the information about the change. So here you can see that somebody is working on the file and they haven't committed the change. So in that case, you can contact this person and ask them when they are going to finish this. And after they finish this, you can work on this safely. So when they are modifying files like blueprint, it's usually a good idea to let them work alone on it. And after they commit the changes, you can work on it too. So Diversion provides a really easy and powerful way to resolve merge conflicts like this. And now here, I will commit this change and show you another advantage of using Diversion for version control. So to commit this, you can tick all of this. You can tick select all, and then we can call this new update and commit it and click commit. So now the changes we made is committed, but the changes the other person made isn't. So you can still see the icons. It says that they haven't committed the change yet. Now I want to show you another advantage of using a revision control tool like Diversion. So if I go to the project file and if I go to the material, and let's say I just deleted all of this accidentally like this and I saved it. And also to make it a little bit more dramatic, I will also add this material to the floor like this. And let's say we committed this change like this. So here we can type in amazing update and now click submit, and then we just close our project. And on the next day, you open up the project and you see everything is kind of broken like this. You go to the material and some of it is missing and the floor is missing, and it is too late to undo because you saved the changes and committed it. But luckily, Diversion offers a really fast and simple way to undo these changes and revert back to our previous commit. So in order to do that, first we need to close the engine. Otherwise, Unreal won't let Diversion change the files because it is still in use. So close the engine. Now, in order to undo the changes, we can go to history here in the Diversion app. Then this amazing update is the commit that messed up everything. So we can undo this by going here and clicking undo this commit and click undo changes. And here you can see that commit reverted successfully into workspace. Now if I open up the project file, you can see that our floor is intact like this. And if I open the material, you can see that the part we deleted is restored like this. So with Diversion, it is really easy to undo your mistakes and to roll back your commits like that if you mess up. So that's it for this tutorial. Thank you everyone for watching, and many thanks to Diversion for sponsoring this video. And you can check out all their links in the description below, the links to their website, their Discord server, and also their public roadmap. So check that out also.